non-detailed poem. I don't know whether they'll ask from the text, but still, as it is a very small poem, we can go through the poem and understand. Okay. Questions ഇട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടായിരുന്നു കഴിഞ്ഞ എക്സാമിന്. I hope you have attended from Buffalo.
Yes, yes.
അത് മനസ്സിലായിരുന്നു? കൺഫ്യൂഷൻ ഉണ്ടായിരുന്നു അതിനകത്ത്?
ഇല്ല മാം, മനസ്സിലായിരുന്നു.
Now, E. Cummings, his lifespan is from 1894 to 1962. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ ലൈഫ് സ്പാനിന് ഒരു ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് ഉണ്ട്. ഇമ്പോർട്ടൻസ് എന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ, he has experienced the First World War as well as Second World War and the disillusionment of or the consequences of these two wars. Okay, he starts his life in 1894. The First World War was in 1914. So from his teen age itself, he had to suffer this World War consequences. So he had no kind of hope or everything. He found everything scattered, and that scatteredness could be found in his poetry also. His full name is Edward Eslin Cummings, and he was an American poet, painter, essayist, author, and playwright. He was one of the greatest and most original voices in 20th century American poetry. He is associated with modernist form of poetry. He was born in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and he attended the Cambridge Latin High School where he studied Latin and Greek. Cummings earned both his BA and MA from Harvard University. John Logan, in Modern American Poetry, Essays in Criticism, called him one of the greatest lyric poets in our language. John Logan, in his book Modern American Poetry, Essays in Criticism, called E. Cummings one of the greatest lyric poets in our language. Okay, now, E. Cummings approximately wrote 2,900 poems, 2 autobiographical novels, 4 plays, and several essays. His earliest poems were published in 8 Harvard Poets, published in 1917, and his works are complete poems, Amy, The Enormous Room. The Enormous Room is his first book, published in the year 1922. Tulips and Chimneys, that is published in 1923, and it is his first book of verse. XLI Poems and 1925. I 6 Non-Lectures 1953. Okay, now, as we have already said, Cummings is associated with modernist free form of poetry, and our poem Buffalo Bills is also written in free verse, and much of his work has idiosyncratic syntax and uses lowercase spellings for poetic expression. See, നമ്മൾ പ്രതീക്ഷിക്കുന്ന ഒരു പോയറ്റിക്കൽ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, വെദർ ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് മോഡേൺ പോയിട്രി ഓൾസോ. ഇപ്പൊ നമുക്ക് റിഥം അല്ലെങ്കിൽ റൈം സ്കീം ഇങ്ങനെയൊന്നും ഇല്ലെങ്കിലും വി എക്സ്പെക്ട് സം കൈൻഡ് ഓഫ് an order for a poem. പക്ഷേ അത് ഒരിക്കലും നമുക്ക് എവിടെ കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല? ബഫലോ ബിൽസിന്റെ പോയിട്രിയിൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല. ഓർഡർ ഇൻ ദ സെൻസ് പോസ്റ്റ് മോഡേൺ പോയിട്രിയിൽ കാണുന്ന ഓർഡർ പോലും നമുക്ക് എവിടെ കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല? ബഫലോ ബിൽസിന്റെ പോയിട്രിയിൽ കാണാൻ പറ്റില്ല എന്നുള്ളതാണ്. ആൻഡ് he has experimented with idiosyncratic syntax and also lowercase spellings and his poetic expression. Thereby he made his poetic expression different. As one of the most innovative poets of his time, Cummings experimented with poetic form and language to create a distinct personal style. That was his own style. He had his own personal style for his poetry. A typical Cummings poem is paired and precise, employing a few keywords eccentrically placed on the page. Some of these words were invented by Cummings, often by combining two common words into a new synthesis. His poems are ambiguous, condensed, and complex. Now, he received the Dial Award for Distinguished Service to American Letters. I think it is in the year 1925, and he received a Bollingen Prize in the year 1957. Now, this is the poem. See, this is the poem that we have to study. Only 11 lines for this poem. And see, look at the poem. It is being scattered in a page. There is no order or where the word is being placed. We have to find an order and we have to read it. Like this, I think he has written a poem called Rain. And in that poem also, വേർഡ്സ് ആർ സ്കാറ്റേഡ്. മഴത്തുള്ളികൾ ഇങ്ങനെ സ്കാറ്റർ ചെയ്യല്ലേ ചെയ്യാം, ചിന്നിച്ചിതറി കിടക്കുന്ന പോലെയാണ് ആ പോയം എഴുതിയിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഹിസ് സ്റ്റൈൽ ഓഫ് റൈറ്റിംഗ് ഇസ് ലൈക്ക് ദാറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, വിൽ ഗോ ടു ദ പോയം. ദ പോയം ഈസ് ടൈറ്റിൽഡ് ബഫലോ ബിൽസ്. നമ്മുടെ സിലബസിനകത്ത് ബഫലോ ഹിൽസ് എന്നാണ് തന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. ഇറ്റ് ഇസ് റോങ്. He hasn't written a poem titled Buffalo Hills. It is Buffalo Bills. Okay, Buffalo Bills. Who is Buffalo Bills? Buffalo Bills is the nickname of a person who lived in the 19th or means towards the end of the 19th century America, and also in the beginning of the 20th century America. And that is the nickname. He was a hunter, and his real name is William Cowdy. Okay, I have already asked it in the question paper. You might know it. Okay. Buffalo Bills defunct, who used to ride a water smooth silver stallion and break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that. Jesus, he was a handsome man, and what I want to know is, how do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death? See, this is the poem. So Buffalo Bills defunct. Buffalo Bill is defunct now. Defunct means no longer existing or functioning. Defunct means no longer existing or functioning. Once upon a time, see, who used to, that word used to refer to, once upon a time, he was a very strong and powerful man. He used to ride a water smooth silver stallion. Water smooth here refers to the muscles of the horses. Okay, stallion is the female horse. Female horse neയാണ് stallion എന്ന് പറയാ. Okay, so he used to ride a water smooth silver stallion and break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 എന്നുള്ളത് without break. It shows the rapidness that he had while hunting pigeons. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that. So ഒരു ക്രിറ്റിസിസത്തിൽ ഞാൻ വായിക്കേണ്ടായി, this poem is written in the structure of a gun എന്ന്. ഒരു ഗണ്ണിന്റെ സ്ട്രക്ചർ ആണ് ഫസ്റ്റ് പാർട്ടിനുള്ളത് എന്ന് ഞാൻ ഒരു ക്രിറ്റിസിസത്തിൽ വായിക്കേണ്ടായി. So he was a hunter. Basically he was a hunter, and so he used to hunt pigeons just like that and he used to ride female horse. And two persons, Buffalo Bills, and also two strong personalities have been introduced in this poem. They are Buffalo Bills, who is actually William Cowdy, and Jesus. Okay, Jesus, he was a handsome man, and what I want to know is, how do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death? See, the poem ended. So Jesus, now he is talking about Jesus. Jesus was a handsome man. He was also strong, and he was handsome and strong, and he also died. Okay, so the poem hints at whoever brave the person is, whatever great personality or strong personality you are, you will also have to undergo death once upon a time. See, Mr. Death. That means Death is being very formal here. Mr. Death. Blue-eyed boy refers to Death, Mr. Death. Okay. So, Mr. Death is very formal and he used the word with respect. Okay. And here, this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 also has some kind of importance in the sense he killed animals or birds like that. With means in a rapid fire, he could kill birds. He was that cunning, and he was that skilled man. Okay, now we will move to the summary of the poem. Buffalo Bills, published in the year 1920 in the first issue of the Dial, and it was published 3 years after the death of Buffalo Bill Cody. Okay, William Cody എന്ന ആളുടെ നിക്നെയിം ആണ് ബഫലോ ബിൽ എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞു. അദ്ദേഹത്തിന്റെ മരണത്തിന്, അതായത് വില്യം കോഡിയുടെ മരണത്തിന്റെ 3 വർഷത്തിന് ശേഷമാണ് ഈ പോയം പബ്ലിഷ് ആവുന്നത്. ഓക്കെ, it is one of the earlier poems written by American poet E.E. Cummings, and it is one of the cynical poems. It is written in free verse, and this is truly a modernist poem in which one and certain meaning is neither intended nor possible. So, by reading the poem 1 or 2 times for the first time, or for the second time, or even for the third time, we may not understand what the poem is all about. It is a modern poem, and the meaning is we may not feel that there is an intended meaning for the poem, or there is a possible meaning for the poem. We have to derive it. And who is Buffalo Bills? Buffalo Bills is the nickname of a person who lived in the 19th and 20th century America, and he was an American cowboy, heroic and handsome, whose original name was William Cody. William Cody എന്നായിരുന്നു റിയൽ നെയിം. അതൊന്ന് ഓർത്ത് വെക്കുക. Okay. Now, the poem begins with a description of Buffalo Bill riding his silver stallion as depicted in popular Bill representation. So he's a very popular man, this William Cody or Buffalo Bill, and he is riding silver stallion. Stallion means female horse. According to the speaker, he is defunct. Defunct in the sense it is not of use anymore, no longer existing or functioning. It is no longer functioning. Buffalo Bills is defunct. Once he used to ride his stallion and hunt pigeons. Once upon a time, he used to hunt and he used to ride stallion and hunt pigeons. Similarly, Jesus was also once alive, handsome, and in his full powers. So, two full powerful persons are shown in this poem. They are this Buffalo Bill and also Jesus. The poem suggests that no one is heroic in front of death. So, whoever heroic the person is, or how much heroism you have, once upon a time, you will have to face death. That is the basic gist of the poem. Now, all the speaker seeks to know is how Jesus liked his blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death, which is a personified representation of the abstract idea. See, death is being personified here, Mr. Death. See, and blue-eyed boy refers to Mr. Death. Buffalo Bills also lays stress on the certainty that no matter who you may be, a day will come when you will be defunct. Okay, so no matter whoever you are, a day will come when you are useless, or when you are not being used, or when you are not functioning. The poem's topography is more striking than its themes and meanings. In this poem, E.E. Cummings also alludes to 2 important figures, William Frederick Cody, I said, and popularly known as, his nickname was Buffalo Bill, and also Jesus Christ. He describes how both of them, given their fame and power, came under the purview of Mr. Death. So both these great personalities, both these famous and powerful personalities came under the influence of death. So they also underwent death, however powerful they were. In the end, death presided over their mortal glory. It also illustrates that life has no escape. It also illustrates that life has no escape. Everyone has to taste death. Whoever the person is, or whoever, whichever the animal is, whatever it is, we have to face death. We have to taste death. We'll go to the analysis of the poem. Buffalo Bill's defunct, who used to ride a water smooth silver stallion and break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that. E. Cummings' poem Buffalo Bills begins with an allusion to Buffalo Bill, popular for his Wild West shows across Europe. He was one of the important historical figures from Civil War period, and he is depicted as a hero of the American West. According to the speaker, Bill is defunct. He is not functioning now. Okay, he is no longer as famous as he was at the beginning of the 20th century. He used to ride his silver stallion on his hunts. Cummings uses the compound word water smooth silver in order to create a comparison between the stallion's color and that of the water. Okay, so the stallion's color is silver. Silver, water smooth, silver stallion. Clear. While Bill was out on his hunts, he easily killed several pigeons in no time. So as he was such an expert, he could kill the pigeons in no time. Cummings again uses the compound word 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to describe the number of fowl he hunted. It seems as if taking down 5 pigeons was a cakewalk for Bill. Means it was that easy for Bill. And the following term, pigeons just like that, is used to hint at his hunting abilities. So pigeon 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that means it was a very easy and simple process as far as Buffalo Bill is concerned. Moving to the next line, 7 to 11. He was a handsome man, and what I want to know is, how do you like your blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death? In the last few lines of the poem, the speaker alludes to Christ. It is interesting to note the placement of Christ alongside Buffalo Bill. This fusion of the worldly and spiritual spheres create a shocking effect on readers. The speaker says Jesus was a handsome man. All he wants to know is how he liked the blue-eyed boy, Mr. Death. The capitalization of the letter D, Mr. Death, deathine capitalize ചെയ്തേക്കാണ്, is used to personify the abstract idea of death. On top of that, the salutation Mr. incorporates civility with the idea. Means with a very formal and with respect, he uses the word Mr. The last 2 lines make it clear why Cummings refers to Bill and Christ. He tries to convey both were once at their mortal glory. Bill won hearts for his heroism. Christ did the same by bravely accepting the cross. The irony lies in the fact that both were mortal beings. They had to die. Through the epithet blue-eyed, Cummings depicts the coldness in Death's eyes. He is indifferent to both Christ and Bill. So the Death, Mr. Death, is indifferent to any personality. Thus, mockingly, the poet thinks about what Christ might have thought about death. Now, moving to the structure of the poem. The poem contains his signature idiosyncratic syntax and diction. നമുക്ക് പോയത്തിലോട്ട് നോക്കിയാൽ തന്നെ അറിയാം, ആകെ അങ്ങനെ ചിന്നി ചിതറിയിട്ട് ഒരു A4 പേപ്പറിനകത്താണ് എന്ത് കിടക്കുന്നത്, ഒരു A4 പേപ്പറിൽ ഇങ്ങനെ ചിന്നി ചിതറിയ പോലെയാണ് പോയിട്രി കിടക്കുന്നത്. Written in free verse without any regular rhyme scheme or meter. It contains peculiar stanza breaks and diction. It is important to note that Cummings was famous for his idiosyncratic style and his word choice. This poem also bears the marks of Cummings' innovative poetic technique. The line breaks and spacing makes the text seem like it is forming a visual pattern. See, the visual pattern of a gun. Okay, like it is being scattered like a gun, and it shows the ability of Buffalo Bills to hunt pigeons uh, very rapid. Alongside that, the poet uses two compound words to describe how Bill hunted pigeons. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons, just like that. See, so it was that easy, it was that rapid for him to hunt pigeons because it was his hobby. The poem taps on the popular theme of the inevitability of death. Death. That is the basic theme of the poem, and it includes a civil, indifferent depiction of death. The theme of the heroism is also true according to the poem, but the theme of the irony of Cody's unheroic death is also equally true. Now, literary devices used in this poem are enchantment, allusion, alliteration, assonance, etc. Okay, enchantment. It occurs throughout the text. Enchantment, as we know, run-on lines. Cummings forces readers to follow the course of the line without any break. For instance, it occurs in the first 7 lines, focusing on Bill. Run-on line ആണല്ലേ. നോക്കിയേ, Buffalo Bill's defunct, who used to ride a water-smooth silver stallion and break 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pigeons just like that. Clear? Allusion. Allusion is there. Allusion to Jesus Christ and allusion to death. Everything is there. There is an allusion to Buffalo Bill, famous for his Wild West shows. Cummings also uses a biblical allusion to Christ and the idea of death. Then alliteration. Alliteration means the repetition of consonant sounds. It occurs in the following instances. For example, Buffalo Bills. What a smooth silver stallion. Smooth silver stallion. Again, the letter or the sound S is being repeated. Blue-eyed boy. B sound is repeated. So these are all examples of alliteration. Now, assonance is another literary device used in this poem. Assonance is the repetition of vowel sounds in the same line. നമ്മൾ already പറഞ്ഞു. The sound of ooh in how do you like your blue-eyed boy. See, how do you like your blue-eyed boy? So the sound ooh is being repeated there, and so it is an example of assonance. And there is personification, Mr. Death. The poet personifies the idea of death and depicts it as a blue-eyed boy. He uses the salutation Mr. to point at death as a gentleman. Now, the 3 questions which I have already asked, but still, who is the blue-eyed boy in E. Cummings' poem Buffalo Bills?
Mr. Death.
Mr. Death. Mr. Death is the blue-eyed boy. What color is the stallion Buffalo Bills defunct?
Silver.
Silver color. Third question, what is the original name of Buffalo Bill?
William Cody.
William Cody. So that's all with Buffalo Bills. We'll meet soon. Thank you. Do you have any doubts?
No, ma'am.
So thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Good night.
Good night.